How's it going, everyone? We're back with another weekly watch list. Super excited to bring this one to you all. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you're all having a great day so far. So without further ado, let's jump right in. I'm going to kick things off here on Costco. So I mentioned in the last few videos about prepping for a Costco swing, taking the Costco swing, being in the Costco swing, managing the Costco swing, and now we have exited the Costco swing, and it was beautiful. So the entry was down here on January 7th. Okay, once we reclaimed this monthly demand, man, we went up. It was like 200 and I think like 65% or something like that at the peak here. But I wanted that $1,000 price target, and I was going to stay strong in my conviction. We had a very nice pullback that week, but I zoomed out, kept it on the weekly chart. No big deal. A lower volume weekly pullback back to these daily highs is completely fine here. Bounced it perfectly. It was also the 200 SMA as well. And boom, we hit our $1,000 price target. I ended up selling it, I believe, on this day here at 994 for a 254% gain. And it's a blessing. It's a huge blessing. And I'm just so thankful I stayed strong in my conviction. And I'm so happy about it. So I can go ahead and remove some of these. I'll keep this daily high here. But look at that now. Look at this now. And I knew that I was possibly giving us some gains. Like, we obviously had a very strong close here, just over 1,000 now on Costco. And that's fine. But man, I mean, that option went from to 200 and whatever, 265, 270%. At this point here on this daily low, it was negative 7%, back to selling it for 254. And I followed the chart, stay strong on my conviction. End of story. Like, I was not going to cut this trade unless we broke below these daily highs. We held it very nicely. Super happy about that. It could not have worked better. So very pumped about that. Now, on the other side of things, we have an NBIS leap. This is a very nice looking weekly candle here back at this demand. This is my invalidation. So if we had a weekly close below this weekly, these weekly highs here, we do have this weekly demand here just below as well. So I could consider that, especially since it's a leap. But we held that very nicely. It's just being a little bit stubborn. We'll see. We have this really nice flag going. So we'll see if NBIS, again, it's a leap, bought it in the beginning of January. So I'm giving this a lot of room. It was up 35% here back in mid-January on this daily candle. Down about 25% now with this drawdown here. No big deal, though. Keeping it on watch. The only bad one looking right now is HIMS. HIMS is getting destroyed. That said, when everyone gives up on the stock, when the fear and greed, the fear could not be higher, that's always been a good time to buy. I've seen it on big stocks. We'll see what happens. This technically is my invalidation, these daily highs here. I'll go back to the daily. I actually believe it was maybe a monthly high, but it's a leap. I think we're down about 45, 50% right now. But if we can just hold these former monthly highs here, I'm going to stay in this. Again, like HIMS, it has plenty of time. It's not an expensive option. I believe it costed $500-$600. It's basically almost sized for zero. Not that I will, but we'll see. With the whole FDA thing going on with HIMS, all they need to do is, HIMS is FDA approved. This thing back to $40. So we're going to keep an eye on HIMS. All right, I'm letting it breathe. All right, let's get into the actual watch list. So we'll kick things off with the S&P. So we'll go to our 15-minute time frame. Previous day high, previous day low. All right, that's the first area we're watching. We have a big range here from the previous day, so we'll obviously keep in mind any intraday levels that go on. We could maybe bounce some of these previous highs on Thursday. We'll see. But nonetheless, I'm watching calls over the previous day high up to my next resistance zone, which is also a 4-hour supply at 696 and 697. Below the previous day low, my next support zones are down at the 675.79 and these former tariff highs and so on that we bounced previously in the post market, if you will. And of course, December's low down at 670.96, which was a beautiful bounce. Didn't even have to adjust the chart for that. But I'll show you that 4-hour supply real quick. So beautiful 4-hour supply up here as well. It does line up with the previous day high as well. So I would expect a rejection in this area. Again, that would be a reversal play. We'll see what happens when we get there. But previous day's range is going to be on the radar first. We might get some pre-market highs and lows in here as well, and we can watch those intraday. Excuse me. I've had a cold for the past week, so I'm just dealing with that right now. But nonetheless, let's carry on. We'll go to QQQ. Again, I'm not going to show ES or NQ just because they're the same thing. For SPY and QQQ. Man, sorry, my throat has just been bad. But similar look on QQQ. All right, we have room over the previous day high, which was also this Tuesday low. Very good zone here to be at. Where did we reject? This was already a level I had on the chart. On the hourly time frame here, we had these former lows here back from last week, Tuesday's low. It was also this low here, Sunday as well, Sunday night in the futures. And we rejected it perfectly, right? So it came down here on this Tuesday low as well for the previous week. Perfect rejection. So lots of stuff in here. It was a 4-hour pivot. It was Monday's low from the previous week. Came, rejected it. So this is a very key area. If we get over this previous day high, which was these former lows, I'm going to be watching calls to 615.1. And then we have some other pivots up here at 618, 617, previous day highs, and so on. As far as support goes, underneath the previous day low, which is also we have December low and September high in here as well. So I did keep these on the chart. Like if I go to the monthly here, I might get rid of September high at this point. This September high, it was a key level for a bit on the 4-hour if I zoom back in. But I might get rid of it. We'll see. But the December low was more important, right? This December low, this is where it held perfectly here last Wednesday, and then we kind of just broke through it on Thursday, bounced 587, and moved back up. So my main support underneath the previous day low is really going to be this 587, but we do have this Thursday low here at 594.76, which I'll be watching as well. Let's go over to the individuals. Kick things off with Apple. Apple been relatively strong compared to the market, which has been great. I mean, I can't really say that anymore. Actually, the market recovered basically 90%, or S&P and NASDAQ, I should say, 70% of the drop that we had, if you will. But Apple very strong. Man, I was so close to taking a swing on this. This 243 area is really. I originally had these weekly highs. When we broke these weekly highs, I was like, all right, man, where can this bounce? And then I was like, okay, well, the next place that we bounced strongly was this 243. I just didn't get the confirmation I wanted on the daily. Like maybe this is something for me to review more. I just don't love these candles here. If this candle had closed without an upper wick, then I absolutely would have taken a swing for sure, like a June option. Didn't get it though. Missed this whole move up. Is what it is. No big deal. Look at the levels though. Previous day high, previous day low. If we break underneath the previous day low, I'll watch puts down to 272.29. My main area to watch for a pullback long because Apple's been ripping. Right? These former highs here at 261.96. High, 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 high. Avoid these misprints here. I believe this was for earnings. High. We ripped through it. I want to see a retest here at 261. That's going to be my spot to watch, maybe to get for another swing trade. All right? Tesla. I actually don't think I've been showing Tesla on the watch list recently because I haven't been trading it, but I still update the levels every day. Previous day high, previous day low. Really simple game plan. Calls over the previous day high. I'll watch puts below previous day low. But again, I don't really trade it, so we're not going to pay attention to much of it. AMD, man, AMD, absolutely beautiful. I mean, this is what you wanted to see. It was these double top highs here. Like, I'm going to go to the daily. It still has a little more room, though, that it could fill, right? Like, real quick, we had these double top highs. Okay, I think I can see it on the 4-hour better because it was in the pre-market. Double top, needed to see a retest there. I even had an alert set at 186.65. It bounced 187. But it also happened in the pre-market, which is bullshit. So couldn't even get in there. We'll see if this has a lot of follow through. I mean, AMD, but there's still room down. Like I have this alert here, this daily gap. So obviously AMD is a really interesting watch here, right? Like we have this daily gap down at 171, right? This is the thing. Like, is AMD going to fill this gap? We also have a daily gap to the upside now. So now does AMD just want to say, fuck it, bounce off these highs and just fill this gap and then fill this gap? Like that would be crazy, but definitely possible. So I'm holding off. I'm really close to taking a swing on AMD. I was very tempted on Friday to add a swing here to fill this daily gap now. But with this downside below, I don't know yet. So I have to wait a little bit longer. So that's the big picture on AMD. But if I just go zoom in a little bit, as far as day trading goes, I'll watch calls over the previous day high to 218. As far as puts go, I'm probably not interested unless we break below 187. All right, let's go over to NVIDIA. Same thing, NVIDIA, man, 170 would be such a good place for swings. Again, it happened Thursday after hours. So Couldn't get in that, and then I was very close to buying them Friday, but it just started ripping away, and I didn't want to get a bad fill. So maybe if we get a pullback, but 170 was my spot to look for a swing where we previously bounced before, here, here, and here again. Very nice volume here, very nice daily candle. That's still an option for me to take a swing on Monday. I mean, I would expect follow through here, but maybe we get a little bit of a pullback first for a better entry. So we'll take a look at that. Very close watching, swings for AMD and NVIDIA. All right. But previous day high, previous day low, massive range. So maybe we get a pullback to these highs here, maybe these highs here. We'll see. All right. But as far as calls go, over 187, my next resistance is up at 190.3. Let me go ahead and just drag this over. And above that, if we really get moving, man, above that, we have 4-hour supply right here that we rejected once to a T. I mean, look at this rejection here. So I absolutely would expect us to push deeper into the supply for another rejection. Or if we get over it, we have a lot of daily highs up here back to 200. That would be my bet for sure. 200 was support, flip the resistance all the way back in November. There's definitely going to be action at that area. All right, let's wrap up with Google and Amazon. Google, okay, had that massive earnings move up and down. We have an inside day now. So if we go to the daily chart, you can see it very clearly. So we'll see what happens here. Are we going to get a reversal? Are we going to get continuation? I would bet continuation just because, if Warren Buffett is dumping billions of dollars into this company, especially with the AI advances they're having, I'm definitely bullish on Google. So I will watch calls over previous day high. Next resistance pretty close at 334.09. As far as puts go, I'll watch puts below the previous day low, but ideally below these 4-hour lows here at 318, where we have a lot of room down to 306.46, all right, which was Thursday's low. And then Amazon, beautiful. Have a swing going on Amazon right now for June expiration. Any type, this is my belief. It's not advice. This is simply just a belief. When there are knee-jerk reactions like this on earnings, look at this earnings drop from 235 to 197. I'm going to buy it. I do not care if I end up having to cut the trade for a loss at 193 or below. 190 will probably be my stop here. As soon as the market opened on Friday, I took a June call. We are already up 40% on it from Friday's action, right? Opened at 199. We closed at 212. Let's see. We'll see how far it can go. If we undo this whole earnings move, that option will be several 100%. So we'll see. I do have the 61 fib here just because it was such a sharp move. We'll see what happens there at 216, but I'll watch calls for day trading over the previous day high. We have a lot of levels that we ripped through that we didn't retest, so I am going to keep them on the chart. Like this low here, this also the daily 200 at 220.16. So next resistance above 215.27, 220.16. And then the previous day low that we had before earnings was here. Thursday's low at 220.16. So we'll see if price wants to push back up there. But yeah, anytime the Giants, the Mag 7, whatever, have these knee-jerk reactions off earnings, I think that they should be bought. So again, already been proved right so far with that. We'll keep managing it. We're up about 40% on that option right now. All right. If we break below this daily gap right here at 193, that's probably where I would exit. All right. And I already did the calculation. That would be like a 10% exit. So I might even give him more room than that. So, all right, we'll see what happens. But that's going to wrap it up. Long one today. Seriously, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far and you watched the whole video, that means the absolute world to me. Please consider dropping a like, commenting, subscribing, or even sharing the video. I'm wishing you all a blessed week inside and outside the market, and I'll see you all in the next watch list. Peace.